So let's go over the outdoor mechanicals. First of all, let's talk about power. So in the bin here, we have a 30 amp power cord. And this is a 30 amp cord. Virtually every campground has a connection here. You plug this into the campground feed, and this connector goes in to this connector on the coach. You slide it in, and then you just turn the little ring around the outside to make sure that connection is good. Now, if you happen to be in an area where you're, say, not at a campground, and you would like to plug the coach into shore power just to make so that you can run the refrigerator or the television, things like that, and not have to run the generator, you can use this adapter. This adapter makes the 30 amp into basically a 20 amp plug, and then you can use the provided heavy duty extension cord here to connect that to, say, an AC receptacle on the outside of a building somewhere. Again, that's not going to run your air conditioner, but it would run, say, your microwave, your television, things like that. So let's talk about water. In the back here, we've got a freshwater hose. Now this hose isn't used for anything other than fresh water, so it should remain clean. Don't be freaked out by the sewage hose back here. It's not used for sewage at all. It's a spare in case we ever needed it, but it never get used, and you should never use this one either. You want to use the sewage hose that's up there in that front compartment. So this hose, this freshwater hose, can be connected to the city water connection right here, and then plug directly into the water spigot. Now, if you want to do that, what you're going to want to do is use this little adapter. This adapter is a pressure control device. So what that means is you're going to be able to control the pressure. A lot of these campgrounds have really high water pressure at the spigot, and that can tend to blow out fittings in the coach and basically cause all kinds of havoc. So if you're ever plugging into the city fresh water connection, you're going to want to use this pressure control basically right here before it goes into the coach. You can put it on either end, actually. It'll work either way. Now, if you're just filling the tank, no need for the pressure control valve, but oh, you're going to want to use this also. This is a filter. This filter works to do what you would think it would. It filters out impurities out of the water. It's not incredibly effective, but it can, you know, get what small little things that you don't want in your drinking water. We try to use this every single time, no matter whether we're connecting to a city water connection or we're just refilling the tank. So what you do is you put this on the water spigot and connect the hose to the male end here, and then the other end of the hose would go to fill your tank. And this goes directly into the freshwater tank. There's no way from outside the coach to tell whether you're full, other than water will start spewing out of this this outlet, and you'll know you can turn the water off. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to overfit. You can't overfill the tank or anything like that, so don't worry about that. But always use the water filter. If you're plugging into city water, you want to use the pressure adapter as well. All right, so now that we've talked about fresh water, we can also talk about wastewater. This is everybody's most favorite topic. Here's the wastewater area. Now we have the wastewater tubing right here. Now if you're plugged into an RV park where there's actually a waste pipe in the ground near your coach, you would go ahead and connect the RV, the tube, to the coach and put it into the ground. Now you don't want to open up the valves and just leave everything open. You actually want to operate, so while you're camping throughout the day and the night and however long you're there, you want to go ahead and let the waste water accumulate in the tanks. that's going to let the bacterial action in the tank additives to break down that waste and actually keep it from stinking. If you just leave the valves open and just let it naturally flow into the sewer without letting it accumulate in the tank, sometimes not everything comes out of the tank, and so the water might drain out, but you might have some solids that stay in the tank, and without any way for the bacteria to break that down, and without the water in there, then you're going to have a smelly problem. So you can hook up the hoses and everything, but only actually dump the tank when you're ready to leave, or if the tanks happen to be full. So I'm going to show you a little bit about this. We have some gloves in here. I'm going to try to put one on with one hand. We have some gloves in here that are dedicated strictly for this purpose. And I'll slip one of these on here real quick and show you. This trap door simply spins and comes out, so you can put your hose up through here and connect it to this connection point. Now this little door just slides away and slides out of the way. So you connect your hose here, comes through here, and then goes out into your sewer. Now most parks have a dump station, so you just pull the RV up next to a dump station, get within this general area, and you can connect your hose. This is probably one of the most critical things that you'll ever want to do, because if you make a mistake, I don't want to scare you, but if you make a mistake, it's going to be ugly. So make sure that your hose is connected well here, and that the other end of the hose is plugged into the sewer before you operate any of the valves. In the position that we're at right now, if I opened up this valve, it would get messy really fast. So when you have all the connections made and you're ready to actually dump, you're going to start by pulling the black valve. You just pull it all the way out. It comes out about 3 or 4 inches, and you'll hear the waste start filling the pipe. And when the tank is empty, you can audibly hear it. It will stop making noise. Now we do the tanks one at a time. So you do the black tank first, and then when the black tank is empty, then you will open up the gray tank. Now the gray tank is just soapy water, so it's from the shower, from the kitchen sink, and from the bathroom sink. And this actually helps flush out the drain tube and clean out whatever black waste that you still have in the drain tube. So you want to empty this one second. That will flush out all the nasty waste out of that hose and fill it with basically soapy water, which is a good thing. When both tanks are empty, you just close these valves and reverse the process to disconnect the hoses. It is important before you get back in the coach and start driving down the road to replace these caps. So this is kind of a safety mechanism. If this cap is on here and somehow this gets bumped and pulled out, it's probably still going to be messy, but it would be less messy. And then also, we don't want things while we're driving down the road coming up into this compartment, so we need to make sure that we close this trap door back up and close it down securely. And that's it. What fun.